What's up, what's up, what's up? It's your man Chaz Ellis once again answering the questions that you asked me. First thing I wanted to do is I wanted to thank everybody who has been supporting my Kickstarter project. It's the Chaz Ellis Project on Kickstarter.com. I want to thank everybody who's been supporting it thus far. We're getting a pretty good wave of people coming in. I know some of y'all wanted to wait to the last minute. It's only 8 days left, and I know some of y'all wanted to wait to the last minute. I guess that's why we get a flood of people that's coming in right now. Just so everybody knows, because some of you are not on Facebook with me, so you probably didn't know this, but some of you have been giving questions on YouTube, and they generally don't get answered because the way that the YouTube system is set up. Anyway, I'm doing an email address that people can send all of your questions to. If you donate to the Kickstarter program, then you'll get a special email address that's just for people who have supported the Kickstarter program. And you guys will be the only one that has it. So, and that'll be the thing that gets checked first. That'll pretty much be the one that I answer questions off of. So anybody who donates to the Kickstarter program, it doesn't matter what you donate. Anything you donate will get you that email address, and you'll be able to send in your questions. Also, just keep going on Facebook and getting involved in all the discussions and things that we're having. It's the Chaz Ellis. It's askchazzellis on Facebook. Go ahead and get on that and check it out. Anyway. Oh yeah, make sure you like and subscribe and share this video with your friends and people who might need it. Any videos that we have, make sure you share them with people who might need them, because other people need help sometimes, but they don't want to ask because, you know, people be too proud and stuff like that. Okay, so the question that I had today was, how much should you spend on a girl on a first date? This is one of those things that's going to be really, this might have a lot of controversy. You're going to get some people who are going to probably thumbs down this video. You're going to probably get some people who get a little bit upset about this video because people want different things. Anyway, what I always say is a good rule of thumb when you're going out on a date with somebody is don't overinvest in a first date. Because you have to understand that when you first go out on a date with somebody, they haven't done anything to really cause you to want to give them anything, and you haven't done anything for them to want to give you anything. So on a first date, you really want to underinvest because there's nothing that you can do, and I don't care what any woman tells you, I don't care if they put 10,000 things below this video, it's not true. There is nothing that you can buy a woman, there's no amount of money that you can spend that is going to make a woman who doesn't like you start liking you. Doesn't happen, can't happen, never will happen. She may like the money that you're spending on her. She may like the things that you buy her, but as far as her liking you, not happening. Normally when you go out and you try to impress a woman by spending a whole lot of money on her, what ends up happening is, I want to say that, I'm not going to try to say the next one. What ends up happening is the woman usually keeps going out on dates with you because it's free. It's free food, it's free money, it's free stuff, you know, and all that kind of stuff. A lot of times she'll keep going out on dates with you because she's bored that day and you're giving her free food and stuff. So make sure that you don't overinvest because that'll keep you going out with somebody who doesn't like you and you don't like them. What I do is, first thing is I break a date down into 3 parts. That's what I always, well, I didn't always do that. It took me some trial and error to learn that. But what I did was I started breaking down dates into 3 parts. Okay, when you break a date down into 3 parts, first thing you want to do is you want to start early and have the getting to know you period. The getting to know you period is basically when you do something that's really, really cheap. And when I talk about cheap, I mean like $4, $5 cheap. Or something that's free, even. Cheap or free. You pick something like that. Now someone will be like, I don't want to be on no free date. I'm not going. A woman that really likes you will will do something with you that doesn't cost money. It's the truth. Because if you don't believe me, what if Denzel or Trey Songz or their favorite basketball player asked them to go walk in the park with them? They gonna say no? Bull. I'm not buying that. I know that's not true. We all know that's not true. So if a woman really likes you, she'll start out a date, especially if you start out kind of early. She'll start out and do something free or really cheap with you because she wants to get to know you like you want to get to know her if she's interested. Plus, you got to remember, sometimes you're meeting somebody off the internet. Sometimes you're meeting somebody, or you're talking to somebody from work or school, which you know the school or work personality, but you don't know the real personality that they have outside of work and outside of school. So the first thing you want to do is have the getting to know you period. Start early. You know, if you can start like during the summertime, maybe like 2 o'clock, that's good because then you could go outside, you could do something like that, and you could talk. You want to walk and talk. You want to spend like at least an hour walking and talking because you want to get to know them. You want to get to know whether or not they're even worth spending the time with to spend some money on, or whether they even like you enough that would matter. You don't want to go invite somebody to a restaurant because then neither one of you can really leave. You know, if you invite somebody to a park or something like that and say, hey, you want to go walk at this park? You want to go chill? Or you invite somebody to go play pool or something like that. You're like, hey, you want to go play pool for a second and hang out? You can always leave. It doesn't, you know, you play one game, you're like, well, deuces, you know, because it didn't work out. When you invite somebody to dinner, you're going to have to finish your food. You're going to have to keep eating, or you're just being like super rude. You know, you don't want to, most people are not capable of just being really rude to other people. You know, if they ask them on a date, they're not going to be like, oh, in the middle of dinner, I'm going to waste your money and stuff and just leave, or I'm going to waste my own money and your time and just leave. That's just, but if you play a pool game and you're not really feeling them, you could always leave. If you're walking around the park, you could take a lap around and then be like, well, didn't really work out the way I wanted it to. Deuces. So make sure that you start early and you take them somewhere that's free and cheap, free or cheap, and you get to know them. You have a getting to know you period. The next step, go for something cheap food or ice cream or something like that. Do something really inexpensive if they made it past the first step. Like if you guys got together and you're like, okay, you're cool, you think I'm cool, seems like we're getting along really good, this seems like it could possibly go somewhere, then you take them to the next step. Like, hey, you hungry? You want to go get something to eat? Always pick the place and make sure it's not something that overextends you financially. You don't want to put too much of an investment, even if you got money, you don't want to put too much of an investment into the situation, because what that does to you is then you start thinking more about your investment than whether or not you like the person. You always want to be able to make sure you're thinking, do I like this person? Do I want to keep talking to them? So make sure that you don't really invest too much. Like you can go get ice cream, that's usually pretty cheap. Or you can go get something to eat real quick at a place that doesn't really cost a lot of money. Now some women might be like, oh, I don't want to talk to you if you... So? It doesn't matter. If a chick is not going to stop talking to you because you didn't pay for a whole lot of food, or you didn't pay for something that's really expensive or something like that. It's not going to happen. A woman's going to stop talking to you because she's just not interested. And if a woman would actually stop talking to you even though she was interested because you didn't spend a lot of money on her on the first date, probably not somebody you want to try to go through the future with anyway. Because that means that they're willing to give up somebody that they like without knowing anything about how that person's going to treat them based on like a first date or something. I don't want to say the word gold digger, but I want to say that, you know, they might care a little bit more about what you're willing to give them than about an actual relationship. So if you want to call that a gold digger, I can see why you would. So yeah, make sure you just get something inexpensive and then you keep the date going by talking to them and getting to know them, because you want to get to know them and you want them to get to know you. You guys want to build value in each other. You want to give them the opportunity to decide what category you're going to put them in. Because guys, we do put girls in a category and we do it pretty quickly. But sometimes you don't get enough information about somebody and you don't really get enough information to put them in the correct category. When you get that information, you can do it. You can get a lot of information about somebody in one day if you go about it the correct way. If you spend a lot of time talking and you put them in slightly different environments. That's why you go from park to going to eat some ice cream or going to have, because you're putting them in different environments. You're seeing how they react to you when you're doing something for free, how they react to you when you're paying a little bit of money for something. Okay, so now you're on your third stage. when you're on your third stage, you should pretty much have a good idea of how they feel about you, whether they like you or not, or whether they're just kind of like floating around, don't really want to be in a date, and you have a really good idea of how you feel about them. So with the third stage, what you want to do is now you want to decide whether you want to end the date, because it could be going good, but maybe you're like, okay, I think I've gotten all I can get out of this one date. You know, I don't think I can really learn any more about them. I don't think they can learn any more about me. You know, we might want to just go on and head on out. So, or you may have other things to do or whatever. So you might want to go ahead and end the date there. The second move would be to go to her crib or have her come to your crib. That's like if you want to take it to the sexual level right then, or you want to try to do something like that. That's usually when you've decided you're cool enough to be around for today and maybe next week, and I like you a lot, but I'm not really probably going to be interested in a relationship situation, and let's get this out of the way real quick to let you know that, you know, this is kind of be this type of situation, this type of one-night stand or, you know, friend with benefits type of thing. It's kind of like where you put her in that category, so you're kind of saying, okay, let's see if we can go to each other's houses and make this happen. Like that's what I'm looking for, like that. Some women would get mad that I said that, but you'd be surprised if people just did this right off top. Most of the time, you would be, you know where you stood. Okay, and then the third step is to continue to date. Now, that means that the date's going good. You're having a good time. You guys are talking. You guys are interested in each other. It's dope. You're having a fun time. It's good. Everything's cool. So you decide to go ahead and keep going. You maybe go bowling after you go. You don't have to spend a whole lot of money, but you go do something fun with each other afterwards. Bowling. You go to pool hall. Maybe you go, I don't know, shoot some darts, whatever the heck you like to do. You can go to the gym or something. Whatever you decide you want to do to just continue to date, so you get to know even more about each other, because you feel like you may have that type of connection, you have that type of time, or maybe there's a little more, you might be on the fence and you want to know a little bit more about her. So take those 3 stages, and that's going to give you an opportunity to really get to know this person by the end of the day. By the time you get finished with this one date, you kind of in a situation where it's like you've been on 3 dates. So because you put them in 3 different environments, and you kind of know what to think of the person. Now, of course, if you ended the date, you even know how that works. If you're like, okay, you know, ready to go home, blah blah blah. You know how they're gonna act when you end the date. You know, so that's the way I go about it. Don't spend a whole lot of money. There's no reason to, because you're not going to impress somebody by spending a lot of money on them on a first date. You might make them think you got money and you're willing to give it, but they're not going to be impressed with you as a person. And if they're not impressed with you as a person, that means they're not really going to be any real value to you, to be real with you. So hopefully I was able to answer your question. Once again, it's your man, Chaz Ellis. Thank you for all the people who are already supporting the Chaz Ellis project on Kickstarter.com. Like I said, we got 8 days left, so please, if you have not supported already, don't wait till the last minute. You already on the last minute, so make sure you do support. Go to the Chaz Ellis Project on Kickstarter.com. There's going to be an annotation somewhere. It's going to be here or here, most likely. Could possibly, but you'll see it. Click on that. Go to the Chaz Ellis Project on Kickstarter.com and make your donation. It don't got to be a whole lot. Like I said, it could be whatever you have. But go ahead and make that donation. It's going to put you also, you're going to get an email address that's going to be sent to you. And that's going to let you, if you do want to ask questions or anything like that, you are going to have a priority you're going to be priority when you ask questions, because that's going to be the list that's looked at. Okay, that email list. So, once again, it's your man, Chaz Ellis. Like and subscribe. Share these videos. And peace.